What's going on, guys? It's cool out here this morning, and gonna get started on this place. I got my soil test results back for here. I did samples for each separate area that's got different types of grass in it, and we'll talk a little bit about them. But first, I got to do a little cleaning up, man. I got some pine cones, and we'll get up. This is a kind of day I wish I had some employees where I could say, hey man, go pick up this pine cones. But hold on, let me see if I can show you. You see all that? Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna pick up pine cones for about an hour, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about these soil test results and what I'm gonna do to this fescue out here today. Stay tuned. These things are pretty useless. I could buy a box of googly eyes and hot glue them on them and put my old cigar butts in them and start selling them as little PPC total turf decorations, I guess. Alright, I've had enough picking up pine cones for today anyway. But the bonus part to it though is squeezing that little tong picker-upper thing, man. Look how pumped up my forearms are. Alright, like I said, I got my soil test back. This is the Centipede section of this out here. And it had a 5.2 pH, which is low, but it's doable for Centipede. I haven't done a thing to this yet as far as weed control or anything this year, so I gotta get on the stick on that. And the, let me see, I wrote it all down here. The P and K were low. P I'm not so worried about on this, but the K definitely want to take some steps to pump that up. I might can make a straight sulfate potash application on it. Usually on something like Centipede, you want to go fertilizer with a equal ratio nitrogen to potassium, like a 15-0-15. Alright, the CEC was a 5.6. I got snot on my nose. There's that just big, weird looking colored hair. I don't know. Apologize for that. It's cold out here. Alright, and this is this wide open stuff out here. See that brown patch in it right there? That's where it got super cold last year and killed that stuff off. Extension agent said that this was carpet grass. I'm not sold. I'm gonna, when it comes out of dormancy, I'm gonna send some on off to NC State and get a for sure word on what it is. It looks to me like some kind of pospalum. It's not Bahia grass, which is a pospalum, or it's not the Argentine Bahia grass anyway. It doesn't get much of a seed head on it, and it doesn't have that purple stem like you see in those kind of Bahia grasses. I ain't sure what the hell it is. I'm not feeling carpet grass though, like the extension agent said. This out here is crap dirt. The pH is a 4.5. That is out of whack for anything. But like I did last year, I'm not gonna adjust it. We're gonna just bomb this with some of the humic acid stuff and see if we can get the plants to take up and do all right in a poor pH situation. It holds water out here, and I did an aerate app on it last season, and it really helped it perk a lot better. So I'm gonna aerate it again, aerate application, the Greene County Fertilizer aerate. And once it greens up, we're gonna fertilize an RGS. And if I figure out that it's not carpet grass and I can really start kicking the nitrogen to it, we're gonna fertilize this pretty good and heavy. What else? The CEC's a 4.3 on it. Very low K, which stands to reason because I I didn't do much as far as fertilizer input at all on this last year. I sprayed it with some light applications, maybe once or twice, of some liquid fertilizer that was kind of low and everything. We did have micros in it, and the micro component of that, along with the humic acid applications I made on it, gave it a decent color, and it took off all right last year, and it did fair. But we're gonna get the word on what this is and get a definite game plan on it. But you know, oddly enough, for these two areas to have such a poor report, the fescue out here was pretty decent. The pH was in range. It was a 6.5, I think. I got a note here, I can look. 6.2 on the pH. The phosphorus off the charts, which, you know, is because I put a phosphorus bomb on it when I seed it to get the seed to come up, and that phosphorus is going to kind of just sit there. But this is doing decent, and I did the post and pre on it about 3 weeks ago, and it's already kind of bouncing back from getting hit with that post-emergent, and I'm seeing some definite whacking on the weeds there. Weed killing activity. But we got a lot of fescue here. This is I guess it's a little more than an acre. We'll walk around and show you some of this. But the CEC's 9.5 on all this, and I don't know if that's due to all the humic acid applications we got in back here or what, but definitely better than what we were seeing out there in the open areas. But you know, lots of fescue out here. I'm gonna hit this fescue again today with RGS and the doo-doo ammonium sulfate fertilizer. But yeah, we're looking at a lot of fescue. And we got Bermuda back here, and I haven't done very much with it either. Got to get kicking on that. I got to get a pre-emergent on it. And it probably, I hadn't even been back here in a couple weeks. I don't know how clean it is. It's got some stuff in it. But I had a little crabgrassage outbreak in it last year, so definitely want to get a pre-emergent on it. Sorry, I was distracted by the weed clumps. Definite got some weeds in it, but out here it's pretty clean. Weird. But this like a 6.5 pH, 8.3 for the CEC. So I'm gonna get a little pre and post down on this. I can glyphosate this. I'm not worried about that at all. So glyphosate and prodiamine on this. About a 3/4 pound rate of prodiamine. All right, well, there you go. Big excitement in the dirt world. Soil test returns. Yes, I got some. Spring's coming, people. I hear birds. It's exciting. All right, we'll mix up that RGS in the permagreen and go to spraying some. Stay tuned. All right. The water out here is turned off. The outside water's turned off along with the irrigation system for the winter. So I don't have a water source here. So what I got, I'll turn this around. I've got a 35-gallon tank with just a gravity-fed hose on it. And so I'm gonna put some water in the permagreen, about halfway full of this. Turn on my valve, get it down below the, fill it up. Fill it up about halfway, and then put my RGS in it and fill it up the rest of the way. Might even go ahead and stick some micros in here today too. This grass is looking way different than it did last week even. It looked really good before it got that, before the Arctic vortex or whatever it's called hit. But I have a feeling it's not going to be long for this until it just breaks this chain, man. All right. Okay, I don't like carrying around the 5-gallon buckets and trying to fill stuff out of that, so I transfer it back over to my jugs. I think I put enough in here to get by on this today. I'm gonna put the, well, if I got enough, I'm gonna put the 6-ounce rate on it, and got a little more than an acre, but I'm getting about an acre coverage out of 1 tank load in the permagreen. So permagreen is gonna get 4 of these filled up to 64 ounces. The idea of getting this on early, let's get that root growth jump started. Anything we can do to be ahead for the summertime to get this stuff to survive through these hot, humid summers here is going to be what we're looking. Put a pint of this in here too. This is a micro amp from my hair, and it's a bang up micronutrient, man. All right, I got the RGS and the fertilizer loaded up in the permagreen, getting ready to go throw it down. But anyway, I have a feeling, I'm probably not gonna make it back over here next week, but I have a feeling in the next couple weeks this thing's gonna be hitting good. A little bit of warm weather. If we get a little bit of warm weather, she's gonna be right. I went ahead and put the Maharan micro amp in there. Probably a little early to the game with micronutrients, but I feel like any minute here we'll be ready to rock and roll here. So we're gonna throw it out. It's not gonna hurt anything. All right, I'm gonna get this done. All right, this thing's definitely gonna need a bath after that. All right, got it all thrown out. All right, I got all this fescue sprayed with the RGS and spread the fertilizer on it. I put some diamine and glyphosate in the tank now, and I'm gonna go spray that Bermuda grass in the back. Probably not the smartest thing in the world to run glyphosate through this thing, but I'm gonna get that stuff killed back there. And you want to take some precautions when you do something like that. After you sprayed with it, you don't want to go rolling across the grass that you want to stay alive, because there'll be glyphosate on the tires and everything. So you'll run some, leave some caustic potash and water in the thing and in the tanks after you do it, and let it sit overnight and clean it out, and you can wash your tires and all that stuff. So I'm gonna get that sprayed. Certainly not looking bad out here now, but I'm probably not coming back next week, but I'm predicting in 2 weeks when I do come back, this thing's gonna be lit, buddy. It's gonna look right, as long as we don't get another polar vortex. But in short, we got the RGS and the fertilizer out on it. Oh, I probably need to show you some of the impact on the weed killing. I'll flip it around and do that in a second. But that's probably it for blanket weed control on this. We've got what we have now sprayed out and gone. We got a pre-emergent on it, and probably just a little spot spraying through the summer should keep us fine there. Gonna have one more round of fertilizer on it on the fescue here, probably mid-March or so, or at least, like, you know, St. Patrick's Day or something. And I'll put the RGS in that as well. But that's pretty much it for fertility on this. Then we're going to spend the summer trying to fight the old fungus demon. But that's the name of the game with fescue down here. You spend all winter pushing the roots and trying to get the plants as big and healthy and happy as possible to make it through the summer. But I don't think we'll have a problem. We'll get it done, man. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, and if you did, but if you didn't, I guess you wouldn't be listening to this anyway. So on you. All right, thanks guys, and we'll check you out next time around. Definite impact on chickweed, wild violet, and some other stuff I'm seeing out here. But this was sprayed with Change Up about 3 weeks ago. There you go. There's a prototype, but these will be available for, I don't know, 60, 80 bucks, I guess, depending on what kind of cigar it's got in it.